this could have been one of the best value to performance American-made fixed blades Ka-Bar has released in years, but somehow they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. The execution of what should be an epic design is so frustrating and honestly atrocious in my mind that this requires a first. I have to rip off the Gideonstactical logo, getting rid of that thing for the moment, and we got to slap on the dumpster fire response team patch. This is a dumpster fire, guys, and we got to respond to it. Now, thankfully, all of the issues on how this comes from the factory can be remedied with aftermarket parts. We're going to highlight what those are, but as we know, aftermarket parts and remedying, tuning cars, vehicles, homes, things are not always the most cost-effective way to what should have been just a total banger, but just falls flat on its face in my mind. So, I don't know if we're going to have fun, but we're definitely going to unpack what Ka-Bar has just recently dropped with their Les George designed fixed blade. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in and get to it. So that was reason number one. It's a Les George design, and if you get one of his direct designs, they're like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So the fact that I bought this for 120 bucks over at GP Knives for 1095 Crovan, American-made, Les George design. I mean, the value is there. 120 bucks. It's almost impossible to find fixed blades coming out at that price point made here in America anymore. And then finally, the size. At 4.3 inches of blade length, I was like, this could be a great all-arounder. Something for a go bag, battle belt, hiking, backpacking, companion blade for large choppers or hatchets. Really could be the trifecta and like one of my most recommended designs of the year if it's well executed. So that's why I went out right away and got it. So when I unboxed it, the first thing that struck me right in the face is that though the sheath itself is very well designed with cutouts that you could pass through Pals webbing or Molly, it has lashing points along, it even has these little tension points to grab the blade. So it's not that loud and has a great thumb ramp, good deployment, and the tension is around the guard. All those things, totally awesome. But it comes with no way to attach to any sort of belt or backpack strap or anything. If it's not Pals Web compatible, you're out of luck. So that means that I immediately am not buying a $120 knife, I'm buying a $135 knife because I'm gonna have to buy a Blade Tech lock, a Molly lock, something like that. Those are about 15 bucks. Okay, not the end of the world, but I don't get it because Ka-Bar has some of the better belt attachments on the market factory. Nylon webbing that's ambidextrous. You can get them on the polymer versions of the Tweeners, the Harsey, Spartan Blades, Ka-Bar collaborations. These things are banger. And what are they? Like a couple bucks, $5, $6? And this isn't the first time they've done this. If you bought the recent Ka-Bar Slabby, this apparently is their MO in 2025 of not giving us any sort of belt attachments. They're just like, there's the scabbard, you figure it out. Which, I mean, sure, some people are going to modify, but give me something that I can carry it on a hiking trip or on my belt and not have to dedicate it through Pals webbing or I can't carry the blade. That's frustrating, annoying, feels a little bit like cost cutting, like what Leatherman's doing and freaking out right now with all of their non-cheese pocket clips that they're starting to do with their multi-tools apparently. Okay, so now when I deploy the blade, that blade shape, dude, and there's actually three blade shapes to choose from that really work well. I went with the drop point, they have reverse Tanto and I think they have like a Warren. High flat grind. It's a little thick at 0.18 3/16. I think it could have been just done at 5/32, 0.16, which is what the Tweener series are. So the Tweeners are a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter overall for the size of blade when you like proportionately, for broader blades and stuff. But and it was a little thick behind the edge because of that, but very durable, woods working, pounding, side splitting, piercing, cordage cutting, that type of stuff. It was really only in cardboard and some other areas where I had to do some sawing, the hemp rope, stuff like that, where there's definitely gonna have to be some sawing and potentially reprofiling of the edge if you want it to be a finer cutter. Not the end of the world, and especially theoretically if the price is there. Now, this is where things just totally go off the rails and we lose all value in my opinion. But before we get to that, I can tell you there's one thing that has not been a loss in value, and they are these right here, baby! My LA Police Gear Core Flex jeans. If you know anything about LA Police gear, they always bring performance to value with their name brand gear, and this is no exception. With a tri-blend cotton polyester spandex, so it flexes, it moves, and I can go hiking with it. I can hang out around town. You're gonna be able to get 2 spare pockets, so it comes with 6 that you can carry spare mags, multi-tools, fixed blades, flashlights, whatever you want. So you get 2 spare pockets, and then you're gonna get not only 3 different washes to choose from, but also 3 different sizes, cuts, slim, regular, and relaxed. I'm kicking the relaxed because that's how I like to roll. But the fit is excellent, the flow is there, and the best part, currently on sale for 30 bucks. I mean, how can you beat that for this design of jeans? And I have my exclusive 10% off promo code that I offer to you guys, the viewers, saving you guys a little extra scratch. So there's a link popping up and in the description box below. I encourage you, as the weather changes, you're getting out of your shorts and getting back into your pants, check out LA Police gear. You won't be disappointed with these Core Flex jeans. Now, there are 3 massive issues with the handle on this knife. I don't know who gave green lights. If this is Les George's idea, I don't get it. Because 1, just the handle scales themselves look ridiculous. They have like all these little holes like a disco ball through them. You can see through it to the skeletonized tang. That's not an issue to me. Have skeletonized tangs, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so they just look super odd and goofy to me. It doesn't connect. Leave a comment if you dig it. I do not. Okay, we can get over looks, you know. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff maybe. The second issue is the crowning or lack thereof of the spine. I noticed right away that the scales were not sitting flush anywhere on the spine. Okay, we have tons of crown blades out there. They didn't crown the spine. It feels like a curb of the sidewalk. Like you're riding your bike in 1982 and you didn't pay attention. You thought that was like the contour of the curb. And you just slammed right into the 90. Like that's how it feels right here. There is no flow into the handle scales. As an example, and this is going to be our main competition that I'm going to highlight here today, it's the A&V Knives P200. I love this blade. They're almost identical in size. Here is a crowned spine. Okay, they crowned it and it flows right into the handle, so you don't even notice a transition. It feels amazing. This is so abrupt, it just feels like they didn't size the scales right. So it doesn't feel quality, doesn't feel premium, and it feels weird, and you can feel the spine around your pinky and kind of in the web of your hand. I don't like that. Detracts from quality and overall ergonomics and feels like the handle scales are too shrunk. The third thing, which is the trifecta of just like dumpster fire, freaking come on in and fix it. These are so slick, dude. I mean, I don't know how, like, water bottles are got more texture. I don't get it. These are like grease lightning, dude. And I don't get it because you think that they would have learned from the BECKERs. And I thought they had, because when they released the K-Bar Harsey collaboration with Spartan blades, this is a polymer. But they ribbed it, they contoured it, there's flares everywhere, and I was like, all right, K-Bar, we're on the right track, let's go. Hope to see this in new models and future generations, things like that. And here's another example, going back to this P200. This is a poured mold polymer handle scale, but look at all the contouring and ribbing and textures and flares, and it feels great. You don't need to upgrade. Now, you can, if you want to, with some Lucas Carroll customs that we're about to talk about here on how to fix this K-Bar. But, so they could have done that for this. They could have done something like the Harseys, and they could have done something like the P200s, because it's just a polymer, pour it, and you're good to go. So it's almost a non-starter. It's almost a non-starter to even consider the blade without upgrading it. And so how do we do that? Well, thank God for Lucas Carroll, because he saw the issue right away and has released G10 micarta textured handle scales to remedy this issue. So let's go ahead and bolt these on real quick. I'm going to use my WIHA bit kit here. This is a Go box. Check this thing out. You get tons of bits, a little ratchet, and an extender. Pick this up like at Lowe's, I think for 30 bucks. I'll try and tag it if I can. And links, guys, to everything we're talking about today in the description box below. But let's just go ahead and get our little bit on here, ready to rock and roll. And as I'm doing this, we'll just kind of touch on pricing. So One of these scales, they start at 50 and go to 60, just depends on the version and variant that you go with. And so right away, if we have to add a blade tech lock, which takes it to 135, and then we buy these scales. Now, if you already own a blade tech lock, it'll cut it down a little bit, you know, and it will bring this thing down to like maybe 170. We're looking at like 190, 185 to like 190, depending on the handle scales for this K-bar now. Whatever. There it is. Okay, I'm just putting it on one side just for... Look at the difference. Look at how much better the knife looks immediately. Oh my gosh, it just looks so much better immediately. The texture is there. Now that he just matched the spine, so it's still going to have that lip all the way across, but because the scales are slightly different, you don't notice it quite as much when you grip it that way. And just, oh my gosh. Now that's the knife I want. I want this knife now. Now, if you see value in that and you love customizing and tricking out your blades, and if you already own some other handles from Lucas and you know what, you know, they do, then once you button this all up, yeah, I mean, it's a banger. So like competitive options, I'll run in here in just a second just to give you some food for thought. Option going back to that P200 made in Czech Republic with Sleipner steel, a better steel than 1095. It's about 130, 135 bucks right now. And comes with the Kydex sheath and 08 Molly locks. That's what it should have cost. This with polymer 3D good looking handle scales and belt attachment, that's what this thing should have cost, around 135. If you can do it over in Europe with better materials, America should be able to do it with less, you know, theoretically. And then obviously, again, the BK16, what are we looking at? Maybe 150. No need to upgrade the sheath because it comes with that webbing, get aftermarket scales, and, you know, there you go, maybe 150 bucks. And then just as one final kind of example, I mean, a T5 from Line Steel and Nylox, Italian made, less than 180 most days. So you tell me, is the value there or was the ball dropped? So now if you like customizing your blades and you don't mind it and you love what K-Bar puts together and you like the sheath design and those handle scales fit perfectly on there, no problem, you know, no problem. And this is absolutely going to be that good kind of do everything field knife. You could, you know, carry it on your belt and hike around your property and do a lot of utility. You can put it in a go bag, battle belt, and also go hiking and camping with it. And I think it's well-rounded enough in design to get a lot done, but it's going to take a lot of heavy lifting to get you there. So appreciate you guys. Stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.